Hey, what's up, what's up? Welcome to Game 4 of the World Championship match. We're skipping Game 3. Chigorin won that game. He actually played pretty nicely. Ground Steinitz down in a pawn-up or exchange-up endgame. So 2-1 is the score in Chigorin's favor. This game we're going to look at from the start. So Steinitz played knight f3, d5, d4. Bishop g4. Now, when Chigorin's been white, he's been playing the Evans Gambit every game. And I think we're going to see some of those later in the match. But so now black goes for the knight versus the bishop. He trades his bishop for the knight to mess up the white pawns. e6, pawn takes, queen takes, e4, bishop check, knight c3, queen a5, threatening bishop takes c3, bishop d2 is played, and now knight c6. Now my question to you guys, white to play. What move would you play here? Now, this is a critical moment. You should have paused the video, tried to work it out. Steinitz played it very well here. White has to be very precise, or he will lose his advantage. Black has a problem here. A few problems. The first problem is he's not castled. And the second one is this a3 move creates some problems, because if black takes this, white has the two bishops against the two knights, and just enjoys a very nice, pleasant position. Now, here's the problem. a3 is a nice positional move. However, black has a tactic that you had to be aware of. Black has the move, knight takes d4. Now, just to note, by the way, if the bishop moves away, then we have discoveries like knight d5 or knight b5. But after knight takes d4, the point is after pawn takes bishop, black has another tactic. Queen takes a1. And after this knight fork, black is actually maybe not winning, but like black is pretty happy. See, the knight, maybe we're going to trap the knight. But it's not so easy. If we go king to ce2, the knight comes out to c2, and in the meantime, black's going to do a lot of stuff, like maybe a5, a4, somehow get the knight out, you know? It's not so easy to trap that knight. So white had to be aware of that. Oops, I just accidentally went back to the beginning of the game. My bad. I can fix that, though. Just load the fin. So now, I don't know, it's called load fin. Don't know what the hell that means. White played a very nice move here. d5. Now, it looks like sort of the same thing as before, but the key is now black is never going to take a pawn on d4. So for instance, black took this pawn, and now white didn't even take anything back. Now he played a3. And it's the same position as before, but there's like this one subtle difference that's really important. First things first, bishop takes knight now basically loses the game, because after bishop takes, we get the f7 pawn. So that's not even an option. It's not like two bishops against two knights anymore. It's like game over. So black can't even do that at all. The only real option then, like we could move the bishop away, but like this position's a total nightmare. The queen's almost trapped here. This position is just disastrous for black. And by the way, knight b5 is probably stronger. This win... No, the queen can come to b6. So probably... Or maybe knight a4 traps the queen for reals. Yeah, the queen has nowhere to go. So that's the most efficient way to take care of business. So basically after a3, bishop takes knight doesn't work. Moving the bishop away doesn't work. The only choice is knight to d4. And now we don't take the bishop. We talked about that last time because the queen takes a1. Instead, we go bishop to d3. Keeping an eye on the c2 square. Once again, if the bishop takes the knight, we take back. And if the bishop moves away, something disastrous happens. I got to figure out what's the best way to do this. Probably knight takes d5, the queen moves, and then knight takes c7, and we win the rook. Another key point, though, is like, why couldn't we do that before? Like, why not a3, knight takes d4, and bishop to d3? Well, that pawn on d5 had a really important point, is that it blocks the queen. Black actually has the move queen to h5 here. And now after pawn takes bishop, knight takes pawn, King f1 runs into like queen h3, and after this, white is in big trouble. And if king e2, I think just knight e5 is good, for example. I can't remember if it's exactly the best move, but like if the king moves away, we take the bishop, and if king to e3, is it queen h3? This looks good. f3, knight g4 check, king e2, queen g2. If king here, probably e5 is going to lead to mate. If king here, somehow, this is a total disaster. So the key was we had to play d5 first. Because now, in this variation, after a3, knight to d4, bishop to d3, there's no more queen h5. There's no more way to put more pressure on the f3 pawn. And so therefore, black is in a world of trouble. There's really no way to deal with this a3 move. Black's just lost. He played castle queenside, but it's not enough. Black played knight takes f3, and white simply took this and gave up the 2 pieces for the rook. So after queen a1, king to e2, the queen only has one place to go now, queen b2. But you look at this black king, and you look at the development of the black pieces. All the pieces are back at home. White has 3 pieces ready to pounce on this king, and the black queen is kind of like stranded. And so white made quick work of Chigorin in this game. After queen a3, knight to b5, and it's like a total disaster. I mean, knight a7 is... Well, he went queen a6, and that was all kinds of discoveries everywhere. Queen f7, threatening mate on b6. He defended like queen b6. Rook c1, threatening rook takes c7. Total disaster mode coming up. If c6, I think the cleanest win might be bishop to f4. And like if some random move, we can just play this check and checkmate. Distracting the queen. So black played knight h6 here. And he just took on g7. After pawn takes, he just went to the endgame actually. Bishop takes e4. And black resigned because, well, white's not material. Threatening rook takes b7, threatening bishop takes knight, the end. So this is a clean game from Steinitz. Chigorin made one mistake, and Steinitz pounced on it like a lion, and the game was over before it even began. I was impressed with this because d5 is not such an obvious move. It requires some precise calculation, and I just thought it was a good game from Steinitz. You know, sometimes he played, like sometimes they'll just blunder something, and then sometimes they'll play a really nice game from beginning to end. And this was the case in this one, and it tied the matchup at 2-2. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys found d5. And if not, you'll get another chance to find a World Championship caliber move tomorrow. Bye-bye.